Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode. I sent out a tweet earlier. I made two trades this morning in Apple, both in Apple. The first one was for 35% win. Second one, it was a very small win. I didn't really like what I saw. In fact, as soon as I clicked the buy button, I kind of went, I probably shouldn't have done that. It actually did go, did end up running for what would have been a pretty decent run the second time also, but I bailed out of it. But anyway, two good trades. This is my paper trade account again. So let me pull up my other chart, and I believe in my tweet earlier I sent out a screenshot of my actual account and the transactions. I just like to do that because anybody can come on and create a video and say they did this or did that, but I like to show verification of what I did. So if you check my tweets earlier, I'll put my tweet handle down in the comments and the description. But I did put a screenshot there of my trades, what time I bought, what time I sold, and now the video is going to explain why I bought and why I sold. So let's take a look at Apple. Before we do that, let's take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA was actually on my watch, not necessarily for the daily candle. The daily candle I didn't think was anything spectacular. Remember, this wasn't here before we started today, so let's move this over one. And this is what we saw. Kind of an unsure candle there. We don't really know what it's going to do. So I wasn't watching it because of that, but pre-market, you see here we have, I don't have it marked here. Let me pull up my other chart on my other computer because I do have the pre-market levels marked on there. Pre-market high was 228.31-ish. That's not an exact number. I just eyeball it and put my line there. So 238 or 228.31. I'm looking at the wrong chart. I'm looking at Apple. All right, let me pull up NVIDIA. Let's get it together here. Okay. So the pre-market highs was 180.71, which is down here, pretty close to this pink line. In fact, we can move this pink line. That's the open. We can't move that one. Let's just call it the pink line here. We'll just call that the pre-market high because it was just a few cents higher than that. If you look here, in fact, the pre-market high is actually right about where my cursor is. We gapped up and we held these highs. I've said in my previous videos, I like when we do that. I like when we gap up and we stay near those highs. Those ones I usually, a lot of times, look for a quick pop if it breaks the pre-market highs, and it did that right here. Problem is, I'm not overly confident in NVIDIA. I've had mixed results with NVIDIA, so something like Apple, yeah, I usually jump on these. NVIDIA, it's I don't know, it depends. I just wasn't comfortable taking this, especially with it being Thursday, playing tomorrow's expirations. They move awfully quick, so if I would have jumped in right here and it would have pulled back, it would have went against me pretty quickly, especially right at the open, because right at the open they move really fast either way. But I was watching this one. I wish I would have jumped in. I probably would have sold some of this on the way up. I might have held this. I don't know. I would have had to have seen it live to make a decision on whether I probably would have sold most of it. Maybe add it back after this candle. Actually, probably after a break above this level here, I probably would have added back. But that's what I initially had on watch. Apple, I didn't really have it on watch, but I always watch Apple every morning. It's one of the ones I keep an eye on. It did pretty much the same thing. It gapped up and it stayed near the highs, but it did have some pullbacks along the way, and we weren't really that, I don't want to say that, we weren't really that close to the pre-market highs. Pre-market highs roughly right here. We weren't really close to the pre-market highs at the open. It did take a little while to pop above it. I actually entered at let me see, 946. So I got in right after this candle opened. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Right after this candle opened, that's 9:45 candle. I got in at 9:46 and 31 seconds. It came up and popped above this pivot point, and that's when I got in. I got in and kind of anticipating we'd break this pre-market high, and we did. I sold I only bought 2 contracts. I paid 97 cents. Sold the first one at 9.50. So it was right about here when we got to this pivot point. I sold the first one. Actually, it was a little bit lower. I think it was about here. Sold the first one at 9.50. Sold the second one at 9.51, and that was right here at this pivot point. When it went up to this pivot point, it kind of paused and hesitated for a minute, and maybe not a minute, but you know, it slowed down. It definitely slowed down right here, and I said, yeah, I'm going to get out, because I didn't know if it would continue that and run. So I sold the second one. I waited till it pulled back. I sold the first one $1.17, so that was 20 cents profit on a 97-cent purchase. Sold the second one at $1.47. So my average exit was $1.32. You take 147 plus 117 divided by 2, $1.32 exit. Paid 97 divided by 97, 35%, 36% actually. So I made 36%. I got back in at $1.38, and I sold it for $1.49. So one divided by 138, 8%. But I got back in at 10:15 and 39 seconds. So right at the open of this candle, shortly after the open of this candle, I kind of jumped the gun. We had a bullish engulfing candle off of support, and I was looking for that. I kind of jumped the gun. As soon as I bought it, it started to pull back, and the bullish engulfing went away. It did end up closing with the bullish engulfing. I sold it at 10.18, so right at the open of this candle, I sold it for $1.49. Like I said, I made 8%. Not a big deal. Sure, I wish I would have rode it out longer. I had the 230 calls for this week, so let's take a look at the 230 chart. Trading at $1.40 right now. So let's come over. So let me get zoomed in a little bit here. So I got in initially at 9:46. Why is this chart not look right? Looks backwards. Something just doesn't look right here. 11th, that's tomorrow. Apple 230 calls. That's what I had. Why does this chart look so funky? Alright, so I got in at 9:46, which was right after the open of this candle. Let me check something here. This just doesn't look right. Yeah, something's not. 19, 10, 11, C230. Something just doesn't look right here. This doesn't look the same. Wait a minute. We're all the way over here. Why is this showing up the way it is? Something doesn't look right. Let me go back to here and do this again. Yeah, it's kind of quirky here. Yeah, it's only showing a few. Yeah, really funky here. Let me try a different strike, so I can try to, maybe it'll reset itself. Alright, let's go back to here again and do the 230s again. Yeah, it's still doing it. I don't know. Something must be up with the thinkorswim paper trade. Anyway, I did trade it with my real money account. I'm looking at it over here. The high on it was $2.03. It's not even showing that. The high on it was at time was it 9:57. It was at $2.03. It's not even showing. Not even showing on here, so I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, yeah, I wish I would have held it longer. Rode this out. It went up to at about 11:15. It was trading at $1.98, $2 somewhere in there. I paid $1.38 when I got back in, so that would have been a nice 40% win if I would have held it a little bit longer. But hey, I was up a decent amount. I wanted to protect my profits. I didn't want to lose what I made this morning, so I thought it was best just to get out of what I got out of for a little bit of profit and call it a day. But what I wanted to talk about is my second entry here. Yeah, my first entry. Yeah, it's kind of, you see it very chipping away, just climbing, just clawing its way up a little bit right here, kind of riding this cloud. And somebody asked a question yesterday in the comments. This isn't the Ichimoku cloud. I have traded the Ichimoku cloud before. This is not what this is. All this is you can set it to whatever you want. I have the 9 and 21. Go take a look at the edit of it. I have it set at 9 and 21. 9 and 21 EMAs, and all it does is shade the area in between them, so it makes it a little bit easier to see it. This is no different than just having a 9 and 21 EMA without the shading. I just happen to have the shading in it, so it's easier to spot. So it was riding the cloud here, kind of holding above it. We had quite a bit of support under it. It's easier if I look on my other screen. We had I got a video up on my other computer. Change that. At those levels, we had yesterday's high, we had today's open, and we had a pivot point, all in a tight range. You can see the pivot point here. This was today's open. This was yesterday's high. So we had these all three kind of in a tight range. So we had quite a bit of support there. Once I saw this start to pop up here, I kind of thought, I did anticipate, and I could have been wrong, but I kind of thought that we were going to get a nice little pop above this pre-market high, and it was almost a daily high also, and we did. Once it broke above that, it just shot off. Volume came in, it took off. But when you miss these kind of trades and you have a nice trending day, look for places to pull back, like right here. Now let me zoom in a little bit. Grab this. Look for places to pull back right here. You see we had a pivot point, and I put in yesterday's video in the comments section, I put the Thinkorswim code for these pivot points. These are not built into Thinkorswim. I got them from somebody else. I don't know who. I'd gladly give credit to whoever created them. I don't know who it is. I was given it, passed along several hands, and I ended up with it. I like them. They're pretty accurate. You see we came down here. This candle came down, kind of a sort of like a spinning top here, indecision, but it was right at support. We also had support here at the 100, or actually that's the VWAP. We had support at the VWAP and at the pivot point with basically a spinning top candle, which means we're not sure what we're going to do right now. Next candle was a bullish engulfing candle that popped up above the cloud. That would be a good entry. A better entry would be to wait till it pops above the previous candle, which would be here, which would have been right here. You enter. I happen to enter down here, and you just ride it out. You can ride it out, get out whenever you sell some along the way. Maybe you put a stop or close below the 21 EMA. You look back, your entry would have been roughly here at 229.30. Your stop would have been 229.90. So you 60-cent gain. And when you're talking tomorrow's expirations, 60-cent equity gain is big. In fact, I can tell you exactly how much. Let me pull it up on my chart. If you were to go out in at the entry of this candle, 10:18 this morning, you would have paid, for the same ones that I traded, you would have paid $1.42 at 11:12 this morning, they hit $2. So right here they were at $2. So $1.42 to $2 is 50%, 40 some percent. Now if you would have sold here instead at 11:42, you would have got out at $1.75. So still $1.42 from $1.75. Still 23%. So you still could have got 23% jumping in here. Look for these types of pullbacks. Now this here, I wouldn't have got in because it didn't hold. You have to see a reversal candle here. Reversal candle is a bullish engulfing, a hammer. Right here we had a bullish engulfing at support. That's important. I won't buy just on a bullish engulfing candle, but it was bullish engulfing at 2 levels of support, kind of 3 levels if you count this 21 EMA, but 21 EMA is kind of random, so I don't usually count that, but when it's there I do say, okay, 2.5 levels of support. So we had two levels of support with a bullish engulfing candle. That looks good for me on a stock that's already running in the morning at the open. So that's kind of what I look for there. You know, let's see if there's another, you know, let's look at something else. Nvidia had a nice pop at the open. Okay, right here we had a bullish engulfing candle at support, but it didn't follow through. If we would have had it back here at the first sell-off, we didn't have a reversal candle. This isn't technically a reversal candle. If this was a hammer candle or a bullish engulfing, that might have been a good, you know, pretty good indicator signal for me to get in. Maybe here, when we get way up here, we're already up 184. We're already up $4 from the open. I don't know that I want to get in that high. Maybe here, $1.50 from the open. When you get $4 from the open, that's, you know, you're getting toppy there. But that's what I look for. Apple, we weren't that high from the open when I got in. Let's see what we opened at. We opened at roughly 227.80. I got in at about 228 even, just a little higher than that. So I was up maybe 30 cents from the open. I got back in at 229.07. So I got back in just over $1 above my entry. You know, it's not something I would have done up here. And up here, these are kind of questionable. There's support here, but they're below the cloud. Do you really want to? I don't know. Sometimes it works. You know, it's a tough call. We weren't right at support. I would call this support. There was no other support here. Bullish engulfing, but we're below the cloud. Not really on support. We're getting close to it, but not on it. You see what happened. It came down, it tested support, bounced back up. So anyway, that's kind of what I look for. I don't want to make this video too long. Look at yesterday's video in the comments section. You'll see the code that I use for these pivot points. My account today, I'm up $81. Not a big deal. You can check my Twitter post from this morning. I have screenshots from my account showing my entries and exits. You see, it's not this account. This account ends in 7285. My real account ends in 9281. And I'm not hiding it. I'm not telling you the first numbers, but you see it in my screenshots. So you see, this is my paper trade account, and it says simulated trading right there. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't know if I'll do any trading tomorrow. I kind of doubt it. Fridays aren't that good for me, and I'm off work on Friday, so I try to get more done, try to get stuff done that I need to get done. So probably won't be doing any trading tomorrow, so I probably won't see it again until Monday. But thanks for watching, and talk to you later. Bye.